1971. We woke up in a different world, where the Cold War ended along with the Vietnam carnage. All because of the Dome. The Dome. A territory full of anomalous artifacts, phenomena, and organisms. We still don't know what it is. An alien city? Some kind of a testing ground or storage? Whatever it is, no living thing trapped under the dome can escape it. Yet even this did not stop the research. The major powers created the Cronus Megacorporation to develop and explore the dome. Its secrets became a lucrative business. The Spire station was built on top of the dome to export the artifacts and import supplies and personnel. The city of Crystal Sands grew at the foot of the dome, eventually becoming a major transportation hub. All this required thousands of employees, and there was no shortage of candidates. Romantics, pragmatists, and adventurers of all trades swarmed recruiting centers around the globe, seeking jobs at Cronus. You were one of those people. In 1976, your application was approved, and you went under the dome towards the future. Whether a good one or a bad one, only time will tell. A guy wearing thick spectacles thrusts out a sweaty hand.
Monty James, Silverwing.
He glances down at your badge.
Ah, it's you. I found your file extremely interesting. And your CV, wonderful. Inspiring, really. When I had the opportunity to look over the files of my future colleagues, I could...
Monty makes a ring with his thumb and forefinger.
You were number 63,784 on the waiting list, but you were lucky enough to get into the dome after only 16 months.
The silver peers at you more closely.
Wait. Let me guess. Are you a mercenary?
An uncomfortable silence rises between you. He taps the narrow illuminator panel with one finger.
Look, there's a storm rising. The lightning is strange. Green. Should lightning be green?
The badge on the orange's chest reads, Quentin Bisley, laborer. He eyes your black uniform and quickly turns away. A tall woman is watching an ad playing on the monitor, arms crossed. The polished to a shine badge on her black overalls reads, Elsa Olafson, Security Service. She glances at you and offers her hand in a businesslike manner.
Greetings. Please take all necessary precautions. By that I mean, don't turn your back on him.
Elsa nods at the orange.
I just follow orders. Even if his crime was embezzlement, I have to keep him cuffed. Those are the rules.
Oh.
Our friends from the administration didn't deign to inform me about this man's record. Could be I'm escorting a serial killer. It's corporate policy, you know.
A man with a mustache and a blue jumpsuit is standing at the window, studying the construction site below through the occasional break in the clouds. His badge reads Igor Patan, planner. The blue taps on the glass with one finger and gestures you to come and take a look. Seems like he doesn't speak English. A young, dark-haired woman is staring through the illuminator, her gaze glued to the slowly approaching desert. She's whispering softly.
We've crossed the border. No way back now.
She turns to you. The shiny badge on her white jumpsuit reads Tomoko Kimura, physiologist. As the woman takes in your black uniform, her smile fades.
There are 6 people in this capsule, 2 of them in black jumpsuits. Not a statistically significant sample, but the trend is evident.
She says with a squint. Kimura shakes her head disapprovingly and turns back to the illuminator.
This place is a scientific treasure trove, and you're treading all over it in your jackboots, blowing up doors that are thousands of years old, acting like you own this world. What devilment.
Kronos Foundation presents gleaming futuristic
Stopping by the door's porthole, you watch as the ground slowly approaches. It looks brown-black through the tinted glass and smoky blue at the horizon. It almost seems like the clouds are pulling apart there. You peer into the rusty clouds of dust blowing along a dirt road leading south. The southern sector. Every black winger has heard the whispers about Operation Simoon, a major offensive under preparation since the early days of development of the dome. Kronos is recruiting troops capable of capturing the southern territory, an area heavily guarded by the Forefathers' defense systems. Maybe you yourself will end up in one of those troops. Just as you're about to move away from the window, you notice a whirlwind beginning to form above the ochre plain. The outlines of the landing site, blurred by clouds of dust, appear behind the greenish glass of the porthole.
Come here. Come on now, or you'll miss everything.
A badge reading Ludovico Nuzzi, scientific analyst, export department, dangles loosely on his clean uniform, which still smells pungently of washing powder.
Look over there.
He points upward with a sharp, wide gesture and hands you his field binoculars. You raise the binoculars to your eyes. Under fourfold magnification, the whirling cloud above the rust-colored plains looks even stranger. Its core glows with flickering green light and flashes rhythmically, and that rhythm seems to form a complicated pattern. Nuzzi bends close to your ear.
Fascinating. Do you want me to bring some filters? If we intercept the red and blue spectrums, we'll see something amazing. It's like a signal, some kind of message.
Without tearing your gaze away from the binoculars, you turn around slowly, studying the dome's horizon. It's somewhat unexpected that the dome looks horribly empty. Your eyes find some construction pits dug directly in the sand, and concrete blocks laid beside them. There are almost no roads, or not sealed ones. Only one highway with yellow surface marking stretches among the sand drifts. The scientist looks blankly at you, then down at his lab coat.
Ah, this? This?
He lets out a blaring laugh. Ludovico points at the building behind him.
I work in Concord Station, categorizing relics. My job is to classify them by rarity. Then the blues package them, silvers issue the documentation, and oranges move them to the cargo capsule. Just like the one you arrived in.
Nazi points upward.
Then the capsule takes the relics way up there, all the way to the spire, then to Crystal Sands by the funicular. They get auctioned off and turned into money. It's not like I endorse this, but we all like ourselves a good paycheck, right?
He offers you his binoculars once again.
Do you want to have a look at the spire? It's amazing.
Nazi looks from you to the capsule and to the landing terminal entrance. He flings his arms up.
Oh, mi scusi. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. You'd better get going or you'll be late for check-in. Yeah, the storm is growing stronger.
The white.
Welcome back. It was nice chatting.
Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will
I'm
be
listening.
forfeit.
See ya.
Oh, never thought this would happen.
Greetings, newcomer. Come over here and register, please.
A tall receptionist watches you from behind his desk. The employee glances at you indifferently.
All new employees must register first thing. Come up to the desk, please.
Then the administrator slaps himself on the forehead.
Ah, I almost forgot the regulation pre-registration greeting. Just a second.
Rayhet produces a reel-to-reel tape recorder from beneath the desk, rewinds the tape to the beginning, and presses play. The speakers explode with a harsh, crackling sound, over which the tick-tick of a metronome slowly grows louder. Solemn music begins to play, and the administrator's face takes on a serious expression.
Dear employee, on behalf of the Cronus Foundation, I, Administrator Dean Rayhet, welcome you to your new life under the dome.
The administrator clears his throat and continues.
By joining our company, you choose the path of science and progress. You are among mankind's best, and we ask that you live up to this.
Dean squints down at the monitor.
Deserve this title. Do your job honestly. Obey the law. Respect your colleagues, and
The music fades, and the administrator finishes his speech.
together we will build the best possible future for all mankind.
Dean puts the tape recorder away.
Now that we're done with the official greeting, I'll register you and upgrade your Selectron. Okay?
Dean's hands hover over the keyboard. He gives you a nod. The administrator squints at the paper in his outstretched hand, but Rayhet scans the computer screen.
So your position in the waiting list was 63,784. You've been assigned to Magellan Station.
Dean snaps the docking port of your pass to a recess in the casing of his computer. The administrator returns your Selectron.
Here you are. You now have first-level clearance. As a Blackwing employee, you get access to the barracks, the armory, surveillance rooms, remand centers, and other specialized facilities.
Dean continues.
All new employees have a short list of tasks to perform on arrival. Do you want to hear all the details or just the short version?
Rayhet snorts.
To make it short, get your uniform from storage, your weapons from the armory, pass the Psi abilities test, and complete your weapons training at the training zone. Then learn how to use the scanner, avoid anomalies, and properly catalog anything you observe. Last, go to the waiting room and wait for the bus to Magellan.
Dean sits back in his armchair.
That's it. I hope.
Rayhet claps his hands in satisfaction.
Great.
He reaches for the tape recorder, but thinks better of it.
Protocol calls for a little welcoming preamble, but dash it all, that's nonsense. Welcome to Concord Station.
As he's about to turn away, Dean suddenly remembers something.
Your reliable guide to the world of the future. When the
Well, hello there.
a small research camp was built nearby. Thanks to the efforts of our brave men, it'd soon become a city.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully.
See ya.
In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Behind the storage counter, you see a small, neat guy. His gingery hair shines with something like brilliantine. His badge says, Sidney Maynard, storekeeper. The silver perks up at your approach. A thick logbook appears at once from under the counter. Sidney puts on thick glasses that seem to age him 5 decades in an instant and studies the lined pages. The silver finally stops and pins down a particular page with his finger. Maynard adjusts his glasses in a businesslike manner.
Before I give you the uniform.
Sidney fiddles with his hairstyle.
So, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's why it's important to wear protective equipment when traveling outdoors.
He points back at the shelves behind. Sidney rests the logbook on the desk. The silver disappears into the back for a while and returns with a small package. Unfolding the package, Maynard shows you a brand spanking new uniform.
Standard issue Blackwing equipment, trousers, boots, jacket. Everything is stain resistant and armored. Bear in mind, this gear is made from all natural materials. Oh, Cronus takes care of its employees.
He raises a finger.
One more important thing. In accordance with Order 16-225, helmets and gloves are not issued, but they're available for purchase from me. Please bear in mind that a full set includes headgear or a mask, jacket, trousers, gloves, and boots.
Sidney hands you the package.
Here's your uniform. Enjoy.
Sidney adjusts his glasses.
Sure, I'll show you what we've got. You know,
Sidney scribbles something in his logbook.
Please come back anytime if you need something.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit. Remember, honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place.
Anything urgent, Mr. Krachkov?
Katarzyna, did you mark it as Class 1 again, instead of 2? Look, here's the scanner data. It says the relic is a scientific device.
Wait, but it's still Class 1. I'm not going to violate...
The smell of good tobacco wafts off this tall, portly woman from a meter away. A black lacquered pipe, an open logbook full of signatures, and a metal flip calendar sit on the counter in front of her. The woman fixes her coppery hair with one hand and casually lights her pipe.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
Margarita thumbs back a couple of pages in her logbook.
I see. This was your first receipt.
She glances at her Kairos, looks at you, snorts, and retreats to the shelves. Tukachenko returns in a few minutes holding a large gun.
You like big toys?
She presents the weapon in her outstretched hands.
Take this and sign here. There are more fun things in store, but they're not for everyone. You see?
After racking the slide, Tukachenko points the gun at the ceiling.
High firing rate and good accuracy, even in burst fire mode. Enjoy. Just don't point it at me.
The black hands you the weapon. Margarita drags on her pipe and releases a puff of thick yellow smoke.
I see you know the rules and won't cause problems.
The armorer shrugs, puffing indifferently on her pipe.
It's the least I could do. We have a requisition list from the Silvers. For free, you receive only rubbish. If you want the real deal, check out the weaponry shop. Or me.
Leaning over the counter, the black points somewhere off to one side.
Now it's time for your training. Fatherby is already waiting for you by the big gate. He's a bit dotty, but a good man nonetheless. But before the training zone, go see that wizard guy with his toothpicks. Be careful around him, though. Don't let him pitch you a line. Psychic my ass.
I'll complain to the Silvers about...
An engineer in a bright blue jacket is tinkering with the door lock.
You're a newcomer, right? It's a straight-up open house here today.
He offers you his hand. The technician slaps the door with one hand.
You have to wait until I'm done. Some orange jammed up the lock with chewing gum just for a laugh.
Penkovsky chuckles.
Looks like you don't get it. Tons of relics pass through Concord. The base is laid out to make everyone walk a single route, with the top level as separate as possible from the bottom.
He turns back to the lock.
So in the meantime, take a load off. Have a coffee. Loosen...
Maxime extracts a thin, sharp, precision probe from behind.
Though there's another way. You want to learn something about picking locks? It's a useful skill in all sorts of situations.
He looks at you expectantly. The blues getting excited. Penkovsky presses his pick lock, and an odd device resembling a hybrid of a screwdriver and a can opener into your hand.
Using a mechanical pick lock is easy peasy.
He gives you a quick lesson on how to pick a lock.
By the way, you can carry your tools in your belt. Actually, finding tools under the dome is no problem at all.
The blue solemnly raises his index finger.
And one more thing. Always use brand name stuff if you can.
He looks at the door again.
Damn these locks. Though I'd rather be doing this than fixing hab pods. I repeat, get a lockpick and attach it to your utility belt. And then, apply it to the door. Yes, apply is the proper word. Just don't forget to pick up your uniform and weapons. It'll be awkward for you if the door gets stuck again.
A lean Silver with thick black hair and a huge cigar clamped in his teeth is sitting in front of you. As you approach, he flashes a sly grin and slowly raises an outstretched hand above the table. Something really weird happens. All the paper clips, pencils, scattered toothpicks, and bits of trash float up from the table and hang in the air. The silver badge reading Andrei Mihai, Sci Instructor, floats up as well.
Here for the briefing, huh? Shall we get to it?
He takes the cigar out of his mouth and exhales a lush cloud of smoke. The silver props his elbows on the table.
Anyway, here's the deal. It's more profitable for people with a high psyche to study psionics. Give me your hand.
Not waiting for an answer, he grabs your hand with strong, dark fingers. Andrei gropes your hand briefly, then lets go, disappointed.
The pills, huh? The anti-migraine, sleeping pills, neuroleptics, downers. What do you mean you don't take them? Well, off you go then. That means no talent, huh? Why waste time? No wasting time now. But alas, regulations demand it, so I'll give you a glove too. Regulations, huh?
The silver takes a thin glove covered in talc from his desk and passes it to you.
Look, a glove, right? But it isn't just a glove. This is an ooh mama hold me tight glove. It takes energy from your noggin, your psyche, and pew concentrates it.
He counts off on his fingers.
Learn psionics. Put on the glove. Transform energy into the necessary shape. That's the whole briefing. Simple? Simple.
Welcome Under the Dome, an amazing excursion to a world of new technology and the riddles of an ancient
I fully
civilization.
agree with
Listen to this information, useful for all wings, and receive a colorful leaflet.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics.
You see a tall scientist in a white lab coat. The man turns at your footsteps. He glances from you to the glittering watch on his wrist.
I want us to respect one another's time. Please speak loudly, clearly, and to the point.
Finished with his unusual greeting, he offers you his thin hand. The amiability in Van Olden's eyes winks out like a light. He looks at you coldly, but calmly.
My instructions will take as long as I deem necessary.
The scientist puts the clipboard aside, raises his watch for a closer look, and sets the timer. He shows you his watch dial.
According to the rules of this briefing, I have to touch on a large number of topics.
Sebastian produces his handheld and clicks some buttons.
I checked your scanner. It's working and is connected to the Minerva database.
The instructor watches you with displeasure.
Are you listening?
He places a canvas pouch in your hand.
This pouch is full of bolts.
Van Olden pushes a button on his stopwatch.
So, my oral briefing fell within the allotted span of time. Any questions you want to ask me?
The scientist glances at his watch again.
You're within the time limit for questions. The next step is training in the artificial ecozone.
He rests one finger on the button in preparation to start the timer.
You're going to go downstairs and scan relics.
He smoothly extracts a jar of yellow pills from his pocket.
Here's your Arad 3.
Welcome Under the Dome, an amazing excursion. And receive a colorful leaflet.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Dome.
Please stand by for decontamination to end.
Technology and the
As
riddles
you
of
can
an
see,
ancient
there
civilization.
are endless salt pans in the western region behind me. The sun reflects blindingly.
Van Olden gestures back at the ecozone.
Be careful around the anomalies. Touch one of them and you'll be injured. Toss a bolt at the anomaly to journal entry. A successful scanning attempt. You're doing all right so far. Go ahead. Keep an eye on you and make sure you don't screw it up. Journal entry. 2 objects scanned. And again, watch out for anomalies. Touch one and you'll be injured. Toss a bolt at the anomaly to discharge it. Journal entry. All 3 objects have been successfully scanned. Downstairs, employee.
Sebastian meets you on the platform. He clicks the stopwatch button, fixing the result time. The scientist turns back to his notes. The scientist assumes a superior expression.
I knew you'd come up with something like that.
He glances at the shimmering blue light in the... Sebastian points a thin finger at the clustered lightning.
I personally believe that the anomalies are the dome's security mechanism.
Van Olden clasps his hands behind his back.
I know you don't care, but I'll say it anyway.
The white's gaze strays back to his clipboard.
If something terrible happens under the dome one day, and I'm sure it will,
Please stand
Ladies
by
and
for
gentlemen,
decontamination
this
to
is
end.
The Dome from the inside.
And receive a
With
colorful
me,
leaflet.
Victoria Legrand. As you can see, there are endless.
Salutations.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will
Have a good one.
Lying by a swimming pool, sipping a margarita right on this
A middle-aged black is sitting behind the counter with his hands in his lap. Botherby frowns as you approach.
Your first act is being late for the briefing. You going to be late for your funeral as well?
The black looks you over.
Yes, I see the weapon received checkmark. Looks like you are fully prepared to disappoint me. You are prepared, right, employee?
Botherby leans over the counter and directs you to the doors.
Behind this door is a combat simulation computer. Launch it and begin your course.
He raises his index finger. Pulling a notepad from his pocket, the instructor jots down your name.
Your...
Ladies and gentlemen.
Well?
Botherby nods grandly.
You made it through training without making a total fool of yourself. Congratulations. I'll send a report up the chain about your completely unanticipated success. You're dismissed, employee.
Attention.
Hiya.
Please handle relics carefully.
See ya.
In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Hey, you. Yeah, you, dumbass. I'm talking to you. What do you want? Come back again.
Why do you keep bothering me? It was nice chatting.
Why are you bugging me? Bye-bye.
World of new technology and the riddles of an ancient civilization. This information, useful for all wings, and receive a colorful leaflet. Welcome under the dome, an amazing excursion to a world of new technology and the riddles of an ancient civilization.
Ed, spit it out. I can see that something's bothering you.
Well,
Employee, please come here. There's an urgent task for you. I'm listening.
Attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
The giant display glows welcomingly when you approach. A red light comes on under the screen's steel hood. A gray old man with high cheekbones appears and squints out at you from the screen.
Do you copy?
He leans close to the camera, his glasses glittering.
My name is Martin Kingsley. I'm Chief Officer of Magellan Base. We were supposed to meet in person, but unforeseen circumstances prevented that. One moment. I'll grab your file.
He reaches for something out of view and produces a thin folder with your name on the cover. Apparently, your file. He marks one of the pages with a pencil.
Why did you choose Blackwing? There are other divisions in the corporation you could have worked in.
Kingsley's waiting for your answer. The hand with the pencil freezes mid-word.
That's honest, at least. We need your kind of specialist as well. As long as you don't turn your work into a hobby, it's all right by me.
Kingsley closes the file and folds his hands in front of him.
Thank you for your reply. I learned a little more about you. Now I want you to learn a little bit more about us. Keep in mind, this is not a rehearsed speech.
He assumes a serious expression.
When the dome was discovered in 1971, it became a scientific and media sensation, a worldwide phenomenon, and likely the most significant discovery in the history of mankind.
Kingsley drums his fingers on the unseen desk, his gaze focused somewhere beyond.
I see. You were enticed here by radio advertising, telefilms, and all those interviews, billboards at every turn. Cronus wants the world to see the dome as a stage where something merry and fascinating is going on. But now that you're actually here, I want you to see the real picture.
You can't make out his eyes behind the glare on his spectacles, but he seems to be staring directly at you.
Here's the truth. Nobody was waiting for us inside the dome. It's neither a treasury of technologies nor a cemetery of the ancients. Perhaps what we're doing now is defusing the world's most complicated bomb. Will our mission thrive? I believe so. If we work together and everybody does their part.
He looks back at your file.
I say, do what must be done. Because that's what the concept of the 5 wings is all about.
Kingsley points at the camera.
You're from Blackwing. Your duties are simple and straightforward. But you have to understand, everything you do is to maintain order and peace. Once people panic, they kill each other much quicker than the dome ever would.
Putting the folder aside, he sits back and stares at you in silence. Kingsley sighs quietly.
You were probably waiting for some boilerplate welcome speech. But I prefer to talk about real-world problems. Glad to meet you.
Martin nods slowly.
I apologize once again for this long-distance meeting. Now, as we don't have much time, I'd like to get to the point. I'm sure you're curious why you were taking off the bus to Magellan and brought here instead.
He moves closer to the camera.
I'm going to show you a short video. Please pay attention.
Kingsley's face freezes on screen.
I have an urgent mission for an employee of your background and qualifications. I'd have assigned someone from Magellan, but I'm short on personnel. That's why it has to be a newcomer. I apologize again for the rush, but it seems I have no choice.
Martin noisily clears his throat.
Maybe you've heard about Nashville Base. While preparing the materials for this mission, I came across a short documentary film about the complex. I think you should watch it.
The speakers produce a hollow click. Purple, gray, and black spots flicker on the screen. A blurred title, The Cronus Archive 1971 to 1974, was used in the production of this recording, appears. You're not really interested in the movie. Instead, you eye the austere interior of the guard room. The switches on the panel. The speaker's voice seems to come from a distance. In November of 1973, a massive network of underground caves and a structure of hitherto unseen complexity was discovered in Sector C-12. Soon afterwards, the construction of C-12 Nashville began. The camera glides through dim caverns as the silhouettes of bizarre mechanisms emerge. Metal structures loom up from the dark. The speaker continues. C-12 Nashville is an innovative research complex located atop the primary relic mining location. The complexity of this object is unique. Communications. The film abruptly cuts out, and Kingsley's face reappears.
The rest of this information is classified. Hopefully you get the main idea. Nashville is a very special place.
Martin adjusts his glasses.
So, the task. Nashville Base stopped transmitting and receiving signals yesterday evening. A reconnaissance group was sent out earlier today, but we haven't heard anything from them yet either.
The chief officer rubs his forehead.
Normally, I would never give this task to a newcomer like yourself, but I just don't have enough people.
He looks down at the documents again.
Furthermore, the group was lacking someone with your specialization. I decided that a visit to an established base like Nashville didn't require an armed escort. That may have been a big mistake.
Kingsley is looking into the camera once more.
Your task is to get to Nashville, figure out whatever's behind the communication problem, get in touch with the group, and work with them to solve the problem.
The chief officer carefully returns the documents to the folder. You notice his hands tremble slightly.
Go downstairs. The truck must be waiting for you in storage. This task is urgent.
Kingsley's hand reaches toward the camera.
Great to hear. Take care of yourself. I'll talk to you later.
Stop fiddling with the lock.
Attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Welcome enter the town. A world of new technology and the riddles of an
Here we go again. Having a bad day? Squabble with the wife? Scratched up the paint on your car? Ulf, why do you hate me so much?
Let's save the drama. Where's the cargo manifest? I know what it is. I know it came from Campbell, but I can't accept the cargo without the manifest.
Manifests he wants. Always manifests. You're a cold man, Ulf. You're heartless. Hey, did you see that storm? Hell, you want me to go back out there?
Those are the rules, Todd. Nothing I can do about it. Sorry.
Remember, our honest work will make the world a better place. World a better place. Attention.
Damn it.
Attention.
Well, I guess I'm
Please
going back.
handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Greetings.
The highway leading to C-12 Nashville is blocked by an anomalous storm. Clara lifts up the hood and thoroughly examines the steaming radiator.
The engine's boiling, so we'll have to wait.
The Blue looks at the engine again.
We wait. As soon as it cools down, we'll go.
Who the hell goes there? Come on in, since you're already...
A weird, scruffy old man with a groan. He picks up a magnifying. The computer plays a short tune. The old man angrily sets the magnifying glass aside. He raises his head to squint in your direction.
Eh? What do you want?
The old man throws up his hands with a scowl.
Then go fix it.
Melville reluctantly points a crooked finger at the front door.
Go out there and walk over to the gas station. Go down to the basement. There's an anomaly, a tree. It's glowing. And there are some golden thingies hanging off it.
After a little digging, he pulls out a little key on a
place up.
I'm gonna rip you.
Melville agitatedly examines the blue car through the dusty glass.
Hey, what? How did they...
The old man sighs, his cheek propped solemnly. Melville's eyes suddenly flicker with excitement.
That turret, damn it! Look, here's the key.
I'm coming out there. Then you'll see.
You bet.
Melville agitatedly examines the old man squints and gives you a silly smile.
I'm gonna rip you a new one.
Melville agitatedly examines the... Clara briefly looks up from poking around the engine.
So, how's the situation? Sure you don't want some nuts? Water, maybe. I have some here.
A vague smile appears on the Blue's face.
Really? That's good news. We could have been stuck in here for a long time. Radio's still not working.
You open the hood. Clara sets up the device between the cylinder block and the fuel pump. Nothing happens at first. But then, you exchange glances with Clara. She gently touches the relic. Sitting behind the wheel, Clara nods to you, inviting you to get into the cabin.
Done. Let's go. See whether this...
Surround them.
Structural damage located.
Distract them.
Poke you in the eye with my shank.
Clip's empty. Reloading.
Structural damage located.
Do you even know who I am?
Well, with his gang problems solved, Melville is visibly more hospitable.
I'm sorry for bitching at you, sweetheart. My mood hasn't been great this last couple of weeks. Would you like some coffee? Because I could...
The old man takes off his plastic leg and wraps it on the counter.
Hey!
The old man scrubs his bald spot.
That'll be my stand-in, I think. And here I reckoned he'd gone and quit on me. It smelled a stench from the cellar. Thought a rat croaked down there.
Listening to your story, he shakes his head in amazement.
You say it didn't even look like a person? Oh, I had a bad feeling about this place from the start. Hey, sweetheart! Wait a minute! Oh,
he looks a bit confused.
I was just, I was thinking... I wanted to thank you. Maybe...
Aaron smiles. His expression is... Melville grunts. The old man lays out the bag.
What's a picnic without snacks? I'd cook it myself, but...
Clara shuts the hood.
Truck is ready. Shall we get moving?
As you approach Nashville, the realization hits you that something is definitely wrong. The automatic guns beep and direct their gun barrels at your vehicle. You and Morgan exchange concerned looks. This attempt is unsuccessful. The tow truck spins out of control and crashes into the security booth. A burst of bullets from the turret pierces the vehicle, covering you with shattered glass. The Blue tumbles out of the open driver's side door with a grunt, and you follow her. Sitting beside the truck track, you lift your head to see Nashville ablaze. Black smoke billowing overhead and intertwining with the maelstrom above the station. It whirls slowly and majestically, hundreds of tiny green lightning bolts flashing silently in the epicenter. Clara lifts her eyes to the sky, mesmerized by the whirlpool of clouds.
We need to scout the surroundings.
You nod in agreement. Morgan is right. It's time you figured out what happened here.